How you define if you're man enough? What do you think define a boy from a man?
His words, the words, the things that you say. A man says things and they stay on him. Whatever it cost him, he stays on what he said. You know,
But is it the word or the action then?
it's what you said. It comes with an action.
Mm-hmm.
If you promise to do something, if I promise you to do something, I'm gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it's gonna cost me, whatever time I'm gonna waste, whatever energy, I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna do it. So it's connected with the actions. Yeah, the boy is different. And one very important thing, it's about when you face a problem, here you can define a man from a boy.
Mm-hmm.
When you face a problem, a man directly stops and start thinking, how can they solve the problem? Like there's a problem in front of me, and I want to see how can I start fixing this problem from
Mm-hmm.
any sides or ways, right? The boys start thinking who to blame, right?
Controlling your emotions,
Yeah, I
right?
wanna I wanna blame the world, and yeah, sometimes
Mm-hmm.
they blame either their zodiac signs, like I'm Scorpion,
Yeah, I'm a
that's
Scorpion.
it's the
That's why it
universe.
happens. The
This is the
the
difference.
Saturn in the right
A man
position.
focus. A man faces problem. He receives a phone call. There's a problem that happened in work and family. He shut down the phone and then he start thinking how to approach that problem, how to start solving it without nagging, without blaming anyone. Blaming is a very big like virus. When you start blaming, it's only to comfort yourself. No, it's
Exactly.
not me.
The comforting
Yeah,
yourself. I
it's
really,
not
I really
me.
want to join
It's
on that
not
one.
me. It's the universe. It's not me. It's my friend.
I
You
have a
know,
feeling that the immature man, they need more validation. You need validation from someone to tell you that you're doing good. It's like
definitely.
your mother is telling you you're a good boy, like you did
Definitely.
some good job, and you still need that. But if we talk about someone who is the real man, I think he doesn't need to prove anything. He
Sure,
knows. He
sure,
knows.
sure.
You know that it's enough for you. You know what you're doing, and you're sure in what you're doing. And responsibility, I think, is the one thing as well. When
Definitely.
you ready to put your life and take charge of someone else's life, that's, I think, when you become a real man, because now you're literally living several lives now. So you're in charge of yourself, but you're also in charge of another person, and you need to manage the whole life together. Where I think boys are just focusing on themselves.
Yeah, definitely. It's about how far you want to go also. How far you want to risk losing everything.
Hmm.
This is
Hmm.
defines a man. When you start thinking that I'm ready to lose everything, if I'm gonna do this, what I really want, what my heart wants, I'm following it.
Hmm.
And if I'm gonna lose everything, I'm willing to do it. That defines men from different things.
Stopping the fear, right?
Yeah,
Stopping the fear inside. And we all have that. I mean, we all
definitely.
have that.
We all
It
have
doesn't
fear.
mean that I don't fear, right?
No,
It's
no, no.
just, it
That's
doesn't mean that I
different.
don't feel
No,
it,
no,
right?
that's different.
Of course.
Everybody has fear. We have fear of losing close people. We have
Hmm.
fear of
Hmm.
losing blah blah blah. But it's about controlling these kind of feelings. A man can control them. As I said, the boy needs to go and start blaming whoever is fault. Without thinking. So you asked me before something about if I went back to 20 years old.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Hmm.
what's the
Hmm.
advice, right?
Yeah, right.
There's also something that I could have said that is like to stop trying to impress people.
Hmm.
When you really stop trying to impress people,
That's validation. That's what I was talking about. That's where
that's
you need them to
that's
tell you
yeah,
that you're
yeah,
you're
yeah.
doing good job. Yeah.
Two things that I really learned in my life that they are really precious, and that's where I start feeling peace in my life. Is to stop trying to impress people, and to try to have like zero expectation on many things. On
Exactly.
many things. It's super hard, but I think I achieved a place that I have very low expectation. Everything, anyone, anywhere. you know. So if something
Exactly.
good happened to me, I'll be super happy.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
something not, if
I
something,
honestly telling you, I have
yeah,
the same thing. I think whatever happened already in my life, I'm happy with it.
sure,
I'm happy with it. I'm
whatever
going
comes,
forward. I know what I'm doing, and whatever happens more, it's already a blessing for me.
sure,
Like I was not expecting this. So whatever happens after that is it's double. It's extra. Everything is already
exactly.
extra.
Yesterday you were telling me you were never expecting what happened last time in the stand up.
No,
You were
no,
not.
not at all.
So you're
Not at
blessed.
all.
You see,
I
if
am
it happened, then it
indeed,
makes you happy.
indeed.
And if it didn't happen, you're already expecting that nothing might change.
Hmm.
So that's the mentality I think people need to raise their children on.
And especially nowadays, you have such an social acceptance because before, I think in your country as well,
Mm,
this thing that an elderly, old people, you have to always respect them, you have to listen to what they're telling you, where it comes from. Because before, if you live up until 40 or 50, it means you know something, you survived, you know some secret that let you live for so long. Nowadays, you can just stay home, play video games, and live up till like 100.
mm.
No trouble at all. You can literally do that. And that's why it's such an easy pass for a lot of people. And now we see those 30, 40 years old who we assume that if you're 40 or you're 50, you probably have this big knowledge. Because I also grew up in an environment like, listen to the elderly. If this person is 50, he knows, he has experience, right? But now I see some dudes and I'm like, I'm surprised you made it. I'm surprised
Yeah,
you're still
you're
here.
still
Like how you
here.
made it. There's
Exactly.
no any other time in history you would still be in this moment, but our generation.
Exactly. Let me ask you a question. Do you think what our elder used to say it's all correct?
Uh you mean listen to the elderly, that
Yeah.
kind of part.
Yeah.
I believe that if even 100 years ago, if you really lived up till some certain age, it means that you really survived. You survived.
Yeah.
You made it, which is not true anymore.
Yeah.
Time changing. Now I
Definitely.
don't think that you always have to follow it
I
because a
think
lot of
in,
things
I
change.
even think in my generation, like my, let's say the parents' generation, 90% of what they said is doesn't fit.
It just doesn't fit
It
anymore.
doesn't fit.
Yeah.
So you need to just adjust, but that's a mistake a lot of people they do. They keep
Mm-hmm.
what their parents teach them in their
Mm-hmm.
mind and they're trying to grow up on that. They
Mm-hmm.
don't
Mm-hmm.
adjust, because if they want to adjust, they need to go out from the comfort
Mm-hmm.
zone, which scares a lot of people, right?
Exactly.
But I think 90% of what they told us, it's not correct. At least in our age,
Mm-hmm.
in our century, in our time zone. Maybe in their time it's different, but in our time it's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's very dangerous now to have a kid and raise the kid. Now it's a big
Same.
challenge.
Yeah, yeah,
Big
exactly.
challenge.
I really think we're one of the most crazy generations. Really. I know that
Exactly.
probably every generation and
Yeah.
in every part of the history will say that. But just think about this. We still, like, even me, right? I still remember the time when there was no phones, and then there was this like big things, right? There was like now working, and I already understand Neuralink and how we can chip people and they can move and use computer with their mind. That's a very sharp and fast transition that we need to adjust real fast. And of course, our parents, when you're like 50, 60, it's unreachable to you. It's
Sure.
unreachable. You can
Definitely.
see that, you can use that, but you can't teach that because you need to live that through. So we only hope that maybe we're gonna give the
Reach that.
do the better job,
Yeah.
yeah, for our children. I
Yeah.
hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so.